Series of shots rocking the sails. Alan pores over business reports. Cobber studies a map of Mohatani. At the top, he crosses out Survivor 2. Nancy in bed, not pleased. Brad pops his head from under the covers. She shakes her head and frowns. Cobber crosses out True Survivor from the top of the map. Boardroom executives surround the table. Alan pounds his pointer like a Nazi. It breaks, and a piece hits an executive in the head. He falls from his chair. Cobber crosses out the real survivor. Alan sits at a computer terminal and hits the button to transfer funds to a secret account. Cobber crosses out Incredible Survivor. Boardroom. At the head of the table, Alan points at a chart that shows sales going through the roof. All the executives sit at the far end of the table. Nancy, in bed, moans, "Oh, Cobber." Office. Cobber turns away from Nancy's desk and leaves, a huge grin on his face. Interior. Cobber's house. Day. Alan sits on the sofa, a plate of spaghetti on the table. A piece of spaghetti goes from his mouth to Mortis's. Cobber enters, does a double take, shakes his head, and breaks into a huge grin. Cobber, "The dream begins. We have 30 days to make it and sell it for the new season." Alan turns his head slightly toward Cobber. The noodle breaks and Mortis gobbles it up. Alan to Mortis, "Cheater." Alan continued to Cobber, "That's not much time." Cobber, "We stack the cast with losers and accelerate my secret plan a bit. We can have a survivor in 2 weeks. Alan, yes, the secret plan. Don't you think it's about time you filled me in? Cobber, Manayun. You ever heard of them? Alan stares blankly. Cobber continuing. The little people, mostly associated with Hawaii, but they came from this little island called Mohatani. Great builders, magical little people that like their privacy. Alan, little magic people. Who's going to believe that? Cobber smiles mysteriously. Cobber, anybody that sees the evidence, of course. Alan, I see. No, wait, I don't see. Cobber, you will? Interview. No, that's not right. Interior, interview room. Day, a small table and 4 chairs sits in an otherwise empty room. The walls are covered with posters and pictures of the Marquesas Islands. A large print of Mohatani dominates one wall. Large type across the top, crossed out with red X's, reads Survivor 2, True Survivor, The Real Survivor, Incredible Survivor. Beneath that, in large black letters, Badass. The toughest will survive. The rest hope to stay alive. Cobber and Alan sit at a table to interview Courtney, an adorable brunette girl next door type in cut-off jeans and a T-shirt. Courtney, "So, this is an island, right? How will we get on it?" Alan, "We'll travel by boat." Courtney, "On the water?" Cobber and Alan exchange glances. Later, Jeff, 20, black, flamboyantly gay, sits on a chair with his legs crossed. Cobber, "You are allowed a total of 35 pounds of personal property." Jeff, and that's supposed to include all my clothes. Later, Racine, 28, black with attitude, has 3 chickens on a leash. One pecks at Alan's leg, makes him nervous. Racine eyes Alan curiously. Cobber, "Religious practice or not, they look like food and count against your total weight allowance." Racine to Alan, "You scared of chickens?" Alan, "No." One of the chickens pecks at him. He jerks his leg back. Alan, "Maybe. A little bit." Racine, "What about black women?" Later, Bree, 24, hot blonde, light see-through blouse and overall. She and Cobber have eye contact. Alan stares at her breast. Cobber, "Yes, you can certainly go nude if you wish." Alan, "Certainly." Cobber, "Absolutely." Alan, "Definitely." Later, at Atsuko, that's it. Atsuko, 30, small Japanese man dressed like a tourist, camera strapped around his neck. Cobber, "We provide each contestant with a pup tent, feminine products, and a scented candle. That's it." The man smiles broadly, raises the camera, flash. Later, Gary, 40's very fat, breathes heavily. Alan, "You realize you have to sign a release for him?" Gary nods, too out of breath to speak. Cobber and Alan exchange glances. Cobber, "And we take no responsibility for your health or safety." Later, Dolores, 30's, plainly dressed, vacant expression, sits and stares straight ahead. Alan and Cobber sit patiently, waiting. They glance at each other, then back at Dolores. Alan, "Any questions?" No reaction, just a blank stare. Cobber, "Anything at all?" Later, Jasper, 24, dark hair and athletic body, dressed in black, guns and ammo belts crisscross his chest. Cobber, apologetically, "A knife, maybe, but guns are strictly prohibited." Jasper reaches under his shirt, extracts a long, thin-bladed knife. He thrusts it up in front of him. Alan and Cobber push back their chairs and raise their hands. Later, Cobber and Alan are practically asleep in their chairs, eyes glazed over, mouths hanging half open. They stare at Teresa, a small, bookish young woman in her early 20s. Teresa, "I believe that even in a situation of great peril, or perhaps even more so in such circumstance, brains will ultimately prevail over brawn. Intelligence is really the predominant trait that allows for..."